Hey everybody, how you doing today? This is Kevin with South Street Barbecue, and today I thought I'd just do a video on how I trim my brisket. Please take note that what I said is how I trim my brisket. This should not be construed in any way, shape, or form as an instructional video on how to trim brisket. My knife technique, frankly, isn't very good, and you should take no lessons from this other than this is what the finished product looks like when I'm finished with it. So, with that said, hope you enjoy it, and here goes. First thing I do, this is a full packer. I always flip it over, and I start with the bottom. I just get rid of some of this surface fat that might block some of the smoke absorption. And most of this I throw away. Some of the fat and some of the trimmings I save for other things, but most of this just goes straight into the trash can. If you're curious about the knife, I like it's a 6-inch curved flexible blade boning knife. That's just my preference. I don't spend a lot of money on them. These are cheap enough that I can replace them pretty quickly. So anyway, I just go through, try to get rid of most of that silver skin, any little bits of fat, things like that. Don't have to go too heavy into it. Then this part, big part of fat here on the decal, I usually come in and just go right through it, up through here. I go fairly deep. I try to get a good bit of it out and then just come through and separate it. That's hard fat that I don't really want to use for anything else. You'll notice a lot of times when I'm using a knife, I cut towards my body. That's a no-no, but it's kind of what I've gotten used to. And this grayish colored meat on the edges, I don't like that, so I'll trim it off for two reasons. Number one, I don't like it, and number two, when I flip it over, it exposes the edge of the meat and the fat, so I know how deep to go with my trimming on the other side. Now let's get rid of more of that fat and more of the gray meat there. Basically just take off anything that I wouldn't want to eat. That looks pretty good. Flip it over. Now here you got the top of the point here. When it's on the smoker for 14 hours, this thing's just going to burn, unless you're doing burn ends. There's really no reason to have it. That I save, because there's some good meat there. Now I'll go in here and dig in there by the decal again and take off this little bit of hard fat. That goes in the trash. And then I want to leave some fat on the surface, but not a lot. Nothing's going to be perfect, never will be, especially when it's me doing it, so I'll have a few bare spots. Some people, if you have a bare spot that you cut out, they'll save some of this fat and they'll actually lay it over the top of the brisket when it's smoking to preserve the moisture. But a lot of this, I'm just getting rid of some of the surface fat. I like this cutting board because I can spin it around. Now there you can see I exposed where the flat and the fat meet, and that gives me a nice line to go along here and get it trimmed down, but still leave a little layer of fat, because as that fat renders, it helps keep the flat moist. This brisket's notoriously hard to keep from drying out. And then I'll just keep trimming it down until I get it to where I like it. Competitions, usually you're going to take all of the fat off, but I don't do competition, so why are we talking about it? And this is a typical brisket. I'm probably going to take off about 3 pounds of fat here. As you're just cutting down, and this is it's all a matter of personal preference. Some people leave more, some people leave less. For me, I like to leave just a real thin layer so it keeps the moisture up, but it doesn't block smoke absorption too much. And if you're doing a lot of briskets, it gets pretty tedious pretty fast. Kind of like this video is getting pretty tedious pretty fast. But, you know, like I said, this really, like I said, it's personal preference. I'm taking it off, but don't really have to. Then, once again, I'm bringing the knife towards me. Don't do that. A little bit more of that gray meat there I want to get rid of. And also this serves for anybody who might think that we order our briskets already cooked, smoked, and sliced. This should serve to show you that no, we don't do that. I know there are restaurants that do, but that's not our way. Now pretty much the rest of this is just clean up, getting rid of some of it. You can spend as much or as little time as you want doing this stuff. For me, I kind of enjoy doing it. It's a nice, quiet, mindless activity for me, so it gives me time to sit and think and reflect and think about maybe other things I might want to do. And most of what's left here will render during the cook, so I'm mainly just playing around wasting time now. But anyway, if you were ever wondering what it was like from South Street Barbecue's brisket trim, here you go. That's basically it. This is going to cook up real nice, and it'll be served tomorrow for lunch, and hopefully everybody will enjoy it then. But hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much, and you have a great day. Bye.